The knock on my door came just as the sun began to rise over the still surface of the lake, that golden hour when the world feels quiet, gentle, untouched. I was halfway through my morning coffee when I saw them, 3 people in polos, clipboards in hand, marching down my dock like they owned the place. Their shirts all had the same emblem stitched in bold navy blue: a Lakeside Haven home. I didn't even live in their neighborhood. The woman leading them, a sharp-eyed brunette with the posture of someone who'd never been told no, called out, "Excuse me, sir, you can't have this stock here. It violates HOA regulations." I blinked, half certain I was still dreaming. "Regulations?" I asked, stepping outside. "You're standing on my private property. This stock has been here since the 1950s. She huffed and adjusted her sunglasses. "That may be, but this shoreline falls under our community's oversight. You'll need to remove it or face fines up to $10,000. That was the moment I realized they weren't joking. And that was also the moment I knew I was about to enjoy this far more than I should. You see, I wasn't just some random guy with a dock. My name's Mark Henderson, a retired civil engineer, lifelong fisherman, and, as fate would have it, the legal owner of the Henderson waterway easement. Back in the 1960s, my grandfather sold portions of his land to developers on one strict condition, that all waterway access rights, every stream, canal, and lake tributary in the County A remained under our family trust. No one could alter, build, or claim authority over the waterways without our explicit permission. Most people didn't know that, and honestly, I didn't think it mattered anymore, until the HOA showed up on my dock. The next day, I got a formal notice in the mail: $12,000 fine. Unauthorized dock construction on HOA-controlled water. My jaw nearly hit the floor from laughing. They were so confident, so utterly certain of their power. But I didn't get angry, not yet. Instead, I made a few calls. My old friend Samuel, who worked in county land records, dug up the easement deed. It was still valid. Every waterway in the County A, from the smallest culvert to the Great Lake itself, fell under my family's jurisdiction. So I decided to play along. I invited the HOA president, Linda Moore, the same woman from my dock, to a resolution meeting. She arrived in a blazer sharp enough to cut glass, with 2 board members trailing behind like loyal guards. They carried paperwork, ready to intimidate. "Mr. Henderson," she began crisply, "thank you for meeting with us. We're here to settle this matter peacefully. You have constructed a dock," I finished, "one that's been here for 70 years, on water I own." She gave a short laugh, the kind people make when they think they're humoring an idiot. "That's impossible. The HOA charter clearly states we manage all lakefront property in Lakeside Haven." I smiled. "You might want to check who owns the lake first." Then I handed her a single sheet of paper, a copy of the waterway easement deed, complete with county seals and updated signatures. Her face went pale. She read it once, twice, 3 times, before whispering, "This can't be real." "Oh, it's real," I said. "And that means your HOA has been collecting a lake maintenance fees on property that doesn't legally belong to you." Every cent of that was unauthorized. The next week was chaos. The HOA board scrambled to contact lawyers, but the county confirmed the truth. My family still owned every inch of the waterways, the lakes, the canals, even the decorative streams weaving through their private neighborhood. Their homeowners were furious. Fees had been skyrocketing for years, supposedly for dock maintenance and shoreline management. Now they realized the HOA had no right to impose any of it. Class action lawsuits began piling up. The county ordered an audit, and Linda Moore, she resigned before the month was over. But it didn't end there. I could have let them crumble. I could have demanded back pay, sued for trespassing, or revoked every permit they'd ever touched. But I didn't, because deep down, I knew not everyone in that HOA was like Linda. Some were just ordinary folks, teachers, parents, retirees who wanted peace and pride in their homes. So I called a community meeting. Hundreds showed up, angry and confused. I stood before them, holding the same old deed my grandfather once signed. "My family's owned this water since before any of you built your homes," I told them. "But I'm not here to punish anyone. I'm here to make things right. From now on, the waterways are free to all residents. No more fake fees, No more threats, no more politics, just neighbors enjoying the lake together the way my grandfather intended. Silence filled the air. Then, slowly, applause, genuine, relieved applause. Months passed, and the tone of the community transformed. Kids played on the docks again. Fishermen returned to the lake. What used to be a battleground of rules and restrictions became a place of laughter and friendship. One afternoon, as I sat on my dock watching the sunset, a small figure approached a young boy with a fishing rod twice his height. "Mr. Henderson," he said shyly, "thanks for letting us use the dock. My dad says we couldn't before because of the home." I smiled and handed him a baited hook. "Well, son, sometimes the people who think they own everything forget who really does. But the water's for everyone. Always was." He grinned, tossed his line, and we watched the ripples dance in the fading light. Sometimes, power isn't about control, it's about stewardship. My grandfather understood that when he preserved the waterways for the future. And maybe, in standing up to the home, I finally honored that legacy. Because in the end, what mattered most wasn't proving I owned the lake. It was reminding everyone that no one can own the spirit of community, or the freedom that flows like water through all of us. And that, I thought, as the boy caught his first fish and shouted in pure joy, was worth more than any fine and Ho could ever dream of writing.